There was a quiet moment, so ordinary it almost went unnoticed, when you realized something was missing. The room was still. Your phone screen dimmed. Somewhere in the distance, a car passed, and then silence. Not confidence, not motivation, trust. Not in the world, not in other people, but in yourself. It showed up in small ways first. You hesitated before making simple decisions. You reread messages before sending them. You asked for opinions you didn't actually want. You promised yourself things and quietly broke them. And every time you did, a voice whispered, "See? You can't rely on yourself." Self-trust doesn't shatter all at once. It erodes, choice by choice, moment by moment, until one day you realize you're living life like a stranger inside your own mind. This is not a story about becoming fearless. It's a story about coming home. The day you stopped listening. Think back to the first time your inner voice tried to warn you. It might have been subtle, a tight feeling in your chest, a quiet no when everyone else said yes. A pause you ignored because it felt inconvenient. You overrode it, not because you were careless, but because you were taught to. You were taught that being agreeable is safer than being honest, that doubt is weakness, that your instincts must be justified before they're valid. So you learned to negotiate with your intuition, then to silence it, then to distrust it. And every time you ignored yourself, you sent a message. I hear you, but I won't protect you. That's where self-trust begins to fracture. Why self-trust matters more than confidence. Confidence is loud. Self-trust is quiet. Confidence says, I believe I can. Self-trust says, I'll be there for myself, even if I fail. Picture two students before a big exam. One walks in certain they'll ace it, but panics the moment a question feels unfamiliar. The other feels nervous, unsure even, yet stays steady, works through each problem, and finishes with composure. The difference isn't talent, it's trust. You can lack confidence and still act with integrity. But without self-trust, even success feels unstable. Because when you don't trust yourself, decisions feel heavy, progress feels fragile, peace feels conditional. You're constantly looking for reassurance, and reassurance never lasts. The truth is uncomfortable but freeing. Self-trust isn't built by getting everything right. It's built by not abandoning yourself when things go wrong. The invisible contract you keep breaking. Every promise you make to yourself is a contract. I'll start tomorrow. I'll speak up next time. I won't let this slide again. And when tomorrow comes, you disappear. Not dramatically, just quietly. Maybe it looks like hitting snooze again, avoiding homework until the last minute, staying silent when something bothers you, choosing distraction instead of the thing you said mattered. And your mind keeps score, not to punish you, but to protect you. So it starts lowering expectations. It stops trusting your intentions. It assumes your words don't mean much. That's not self-sabotage. That's self-protection learned the wrong way. Rebuilding starts with one radical shift. Here's something important to understand. Rebuilding self-trust is not about changing your entire life overnight. It's about proving gently and consistently that your words mean something again. You need one radical shift. Stop making promises you can't keep and start keeping the smallest ones you can. Not impressive promises, honest ones. Instead of, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Try, I'll get out of bed when my alarm rings once. Instead of, I'll change everything this month. Try, I'll do one uncomfortable thing I said I would. Small kept promises are not small to your brain. They are evidence. And evidence rebuilds trust. Self-trust grows when your actions start matching your words again, even quietly, even imperfectly. Learning to sit with discomfort. Here's what no one tells you. Rebuilding self-trust feels awkward. You'll second-guess yourself. You'll feel exposed. You'll wonder if you're doing it wrong. That discomfort isn't failure. It's unfamiliarity. You're learning how to stay with yourself instead of escaping. When you tell the truth instead of people-pleasing. When you rest instead of chasing constant approval. When you walk away from what drains you. Each moment says, "I've got you." At first, your mind may not believe it, but repetition is convincing. Slowly, your nervous system begins to relax. The courage to forgive yourself. You cannot rebuild self-trust without forgiveness. Not dramatic forgiveness. Not excuses. Honest acknowledgement. Yes, you ignored your needs. Yes, you stayed quiet when you wanted to speak. Yes, you broke promises. But you were working with the awareness you had at the time. And humans learn by living, not by already knowing. Self-trust isn't rebuilt by shame. It's rebuilt by responsibility without cruelty. Instead of, "I always mess things up," try, "I see what happened, and I'll respond differently now." Forgiveness is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. And crossing that bridge is an act of strength. When you start choosing yourself, something subtle happens when self-trust returns. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing clarity from people who can't give it. You stop asking for permission to grow. Not because you're hardened, but because you're grounded. You begin to understand a quiet truth. Even if things don't go as planned, you can adapt. You know that even if things fall apart, you won't. Because you'll show up. The new relationship you're building. Rebuilding self-trust is like rebuilding a friendship. If a friend kept canceling on you, you'd struggle to rely on them. But if they started showing up consistently, honestly, you'd feel safe again. The same is true for the relationship you have with yourself. It requires consistency over intensity, honesty over image, patience over pressure. Some days you'll stumble. Some days doubt will get loud again. But now you don't disappear. You pause. You listen. You adjust. That's trust. Not perfection. Presence. The moment you realize it's working. One day, you'll notice something strange. A decision appears. And instead of spiraling the way you once did, you feel steady. No endless replaying. No urgent need for approval. No panic if the outcome is uncertain. Just a quiet knowing. Whatever happens, I'll handle it. Think back to the hesitation from the beginning, the rereading, the doubting, the shrinking. Now notice the difference. Calm has replaced noise. That's self-trust. Not loud. Not dramatic. Unshakable. Final truth. You don't rebuild self-trust by proving you're strong. You rebuild it by proving you're reliable to yourself. By keeping small promises. By telling the truth. By staying when things feel uncomfortable instead of running. And most of all, by choosing again and again not to abandon yourself. Because the most important relationship you will ever repair is the one you carry into every moment of your life. Grow quietly. Rise daily.